Do you know when's the first time Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine started spending time together?
Yeah, I think it was 91 or 92.
At that time, had he already been accused of underage girls or not yet?
No, that wasn't until the early 2000s.
So do you think maybe the underage girls, because some people say that Ghislaine played a big role in recruiting the girls and bringing them in and groom them in, do you think a part of that maybe was brought in from Ghislaine?
Well, I don't know, but I've heard the same stories you've heard, but I can't comment on it.
Again, to me, it goes to the how, why, who, okay? On the why side, when you hear Mossad, how much thought you put into that he could have been a Mossad agent?
Very little.
Very little?
Yeah. It's either like, I can't confirm it or deny it. I don't know. So things I don't know, I don't speculate on.
I want to read this one story to you
Sure.
from, let me see if I can find this. Let me find this. All right, so let's see which one this is. Yeah, so here we go. Epstein was rumored to be associated with intelligence to U.S. journalists Dylan Howard, Melissa Cronin, and James Robertson linked Epstein to the Israeli Mossad in their book Epstein, Dead Men Tell No Tales. They relied, for the most part, of the former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben Menashe. According to him, Epstein's activities as a spy served to gather compromising material on powerful people in order to blackmail them. There's also a possible connection to the Mossad via Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father, Robert Maxwell, is said to have had contacts with the Mossad. Epstein's victim, Virginia Giuffre, also alleged Epstein to be an intelligence asset, linking on Twitter to a Reddit page that alleged Epstein being a spy running a blackmail operation. This continues. A U.S. attorney in Florida, later U.S. Secretary of Labor, Alexander Acosta, reached a settlement with Epstein's lawyer, including Alan Dershowitz, in 2008, which allowed him to receive a very light prison sentence. Acosta later reportedly stated that he was told that Epstein belonged to intelligence and that the issue was above his pay grade. According to Acosta, he was pushed to give him a good deal, and former diplomat and CIA director William Burns met with Epstein 3 times. According to a CIA spokesperson, Burns hoped that Epstein would help him transition to the private sector. So,
But the key for me in all of that is all of these things were started with rumor has it, this is alleged, show me facts and then I take things seriously. Because there were a lot of things rumored and alleged about me that I know were not true. So when I hear things are rumored and alleged, it already starts off with a grain of salt. Yeah. It's like in the movie, you ever see the movie Erin Brockovich?
Of course.
Okay, there's a scene where she's saying that you have to go after, PG&E. And Ed, the lawyer, is saying, well, we have to go after PG&E corporate because the local PG&E is not where the money is. And he goes, you have to show that PG&E corporate knew about it. And she said, of course they knew about it. I mean, everybody knows they knew about it. And he said, show me the document that proves it. So it's this kind of thing.
Yeah,
People are alleging things, and
Mark,
like I said, things have been alleged about me. I hear that, and I say, okay, this is what they're alleging. And
you don't give me naive vibes. You don't give me naive vibes at all. You give me vibes of someone that if you're curious, you want to get intel, you put the time to go pursue it and figure out what it is. And you also give me the vibe that you can juggle the speculation to kind of get to the bottom of something and use logic and reason and facts and data and all of that. Here's where I'm going with this. If you and I buy 20% of a company, nowadays it's not on a handshake. We document it and we put it on a deal. And that may take 30, 60, 90 days to close, right? Depending on how much the money is and what kind of are we buying private, public? If it could be faster or slower, right?
That's why I don't take partners in anything.
You and I both. But that's what? That's documented, right? You document that. Okay. If I sell a house and you're my real estate agent, we're going to have an agreement that you're going to come and say, can you sign this? That I'm your representative. Anything you sell goes through me, and then we decide 90 days, 180 days, a year, whatever. What? Bullshit. All of these things require document. When you become a CIA operative or a Mossad, they don't say, let's write this contract. There is no contract. CIA and Mossad is like this. There is no arrangement because neither party wants to put that in place. You know that, I know that. So it's not. So if you're waiting for proof to see that he was Mossad because you're going to see a contract saying that, such and such is a Mossad, that'll never happen, not in your lifetime, in my lifetime. And then, for all the other thing, to avoid speculating, let's speculate that he was, let's say he did play the role, and let's say he did provide certain assets and information for Israel, Mossad, whoever it may be. And let's speculate that he did have all these parties. People came over. He has tapes, video, all that. Speculate is what we're doing. If Israel had access to that information, how valuable would that be? And how much influence would they have to be able to get U.S. politicians to do for Israel what Israel wants to be done for them? If they had that.
Well, it's a big if, and if they had it, they would have influence. The exact amount, I don't know. Don't travel those circles. Yeah. And also, just to address something you raised before about the Humpty Dumpty Institute and the Congressional Advisory Committee. Yes, those people were on the Congressional Advisory Committee. It's not a committee that had meetings. Okay, these were people that liked what Humpty Dumpty was doing and supported our activities.
How did you come up with that name, though? I mean, Mark, that's a concern.
Okay,
who was the branding team?
Well, it was what happened. A group of us, we were involved, part of the United Nations Association. This goes back like 30 some odd years. Okay, and what we were doing in those days, one of the things, we were heavily involved in landmine eradication, getting landmines removed from around the world. Mm-hmm. And we found that the UNA was kind of a great organization. It was very bureaucratic. We had started their project called, it was Adopt a Minefield. Okay, the United Nations had a book of different minefields that really needed clearing, certain villages in different places. And there was a price tag associated with what it would cost to clear a particular mine area. So we would then partner. We'd find organizations that wanted to get active. And let's say a school group figured they could raise $50,000 to fight landmines. Well, they'd go through the book and they'd find a landmine that needed $50,000 to clear. And we'd partner. They would adopt the minefield.
Got it.
So we put that together as part of the United Nations Association. And we were flying back from a trip to Africa, because we had worked in Angola and Rwanda and different places. And we figured, we can probably be more effective as just a small private group than doing it through the UNA. So we separated from the United Nations Association. We left the Adopt a Minefield program with them because it was started under their auspices. And we started the Humpty Dumpty Institute. It became a takeoff because if you look at the nursery rhyme, okay, it's all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. Well, the king's horses are the military, and the king's men are the politicians. They can't do it. So we decided that to get these things done, we needed a public-private partnership. So we worked with the government to get things done. We got a lot of funding from the government back in those days. The U.S. Department of Agriculture supported a lot of the landmine eradication by giving us excess commodities. Like we'd get powdered milk. The U.S. government is sitting on billions of tons of powdered milk. Mm. And so they gave us some to sell in countries, and we used that money to clear landmines. They gave us a few $1 million worth of red lentil beans to clear the landmines in Sri Lanka. So these are the kind of projects that we do. So the Humpty Dumpty Institute became about putting the pieces back together again with public-private partnerships. And that's the history. And we were told when we asked people, they said, if we can get past the laugh factor for 2 years, it'll be a good name. And if you go to the UN, and, well, see, you're laughing.
But at least you guys knew.
Oh,
because all I think about is the Humpty dance is your chance to do the hump. That's all I think.
Well,
do it, baby.
Nations, if you're dealing with the United Nations and the world of NGOs.
Rob, I'm sorry, I go there. It's my.
So we're an NGO, non-government organization.
Sure,
and if you're dealing in that world, you have UNESCO, you have tons of acronyms. It's all letters. Okay, you don't remember those letter names. People remember Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a very effective name.
Unfortunately,
because we made it past the 2-year laugh factor.
It's stuck. Every time I hear the Humpty Dump, I'm going to think of two people. Yeah. I'm going to think about Humpty and you.
Okay,
that's where I'm going to go. And you were compelled to say that. You said this. You brought this story up after I asked you if your brother was a Mossad agent, and he did have those tapes of very powerful people in different political places like Prince Andrew, like the U.S. government, like billionaires, how valuable would that be to the Israeli government to leverage in a way they negotiate with political people and billionaires around the world? You said, yes, that's a big if. If yes, that's very powerful. Then you went into telling the story. Why did you transition into bringing the Humpty?
Well, no, because I wanted to clear up the point about the connection with Adam Schiff.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Even though we have this connection, we've never met. We don't sit down with a congressional advisory committee. These are just people
I just learned you don't like restaurants because you own one, so you don't go to restaurants.
I go to some, but I prefer to eat at home.
Eat at your place.
Yeah.
Has your mind blown up yet? Have you sat there and said, I cannot believe what Mark just said to me? Allegedly. This interview is a perfect interview to go sport the gear. Allegedly, if you haven't ordered your shirt yet, click here, the QR code, go to vtmerch.com. Place your order allegedly. It's one of the hottest items we have in our merch store. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.